Yeah. Okay. You can. That should be better. That should be better. Okay. I might be breathing in the mic, but that's fine. First trade is 44.50, 17, 16, 19. 44.25. They sit 11 trades at 44.50. They're willing to hold the lower prices on the buy side. But then it gets absorbed and they move down to 44.25. So we're just ranging the distribution now. 44.50 is the place to short. 7 and 14 trades. So buyers are absorbed on the prints. And then they trade 44.50 at 11. So they prefer lower prices. Or they tried to sustain a breakout there and were absorbed. Tape comes in, price moves lower, 15 trades at 44.25 on the prints, and then price moves lower. Right, we see a full rotation. I'm watching the prints at 15.25 over and over again. $44.50, $44.50. Okay, the Q empties on the ask, or the print's empty on the ask. 11 trades, it's absorbed. I want to see them hit 14s again. The 14 wasn't there at 44.75, so it was just the trade and the absorption at 50 on the inside prints. So I misread that. Then 17 trades and we move lower on the 17 trading. Then the seller attacks on the inside prints at 25. 11 and then 15 we move lower. I'm watching 43.25 now. Let me see if I have a trade there. There should be a trade there, but it doesn't look like there is. This morning I was excited and like happy to be alive. Specifically happy to be alive. I'm serious. That's why I was so excited. 8:30. So I missed, the 4 hours of the session that I was supposed to trade on a Monday. That's so painful, and I can't let that happen ever again. We're in the LVN now at 43 evens. I'm I'm watching the tape to dry up now. Notice that there's not much on the inside prints. Price ticks up. 6 and 2. Okay, I'm chasing here because I think I know what I'm doing. Really, there's not a lot of order flow here. I'm going to watch the entry 3 more times. Okay. Sellers lead on the inside prints. Then there's a little auction there. Buyer steps in at 75. Buyer steps in on the prints. They fill one. I pull the order. Ask shifts lower temporarily. Then a buyer steps in again on 14. Sellers pull once they realize that there's demand there and price moves up higher. I'm going to watch the trade 2 more times. I'm going to watch how it came down. At 42.50, first is the immediate spamming of tape on the bid and the ask. But because we moved up, I would interpret it more. Let me make sure I'm not muted. Because we moved up off of that, I would interpret it more as buyers stepping in and sellers being absorbed, even though there are 2 6s at 42.50. Then 7 trades on the bid inside print at 75. I'm going to watch this again. One 42.50. Okay, 6 trades, both sides. 7 comes up. 42.75. 1, 8, 10. Upticking now. 42.75. 12. Right, there's an aggressive bid. 18. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. We jumped down. The ask follows. Buyers step in the low volume node. The queue shifts. 3 is absorbed on sellers. There's less momentum now. The market's changed. Now buyers fill in. The queue pulls and we move up to my exit. And then 18 trades on the inside prints. I'm going to watch it 2 more times. 42.75 down to 5, 6 and 1, 1 and 1, 6. The step up now. We sit there on the bid. Buyers step in again. They fill me. Looks like a good trade. It's holding 75 now. 12, 14 tape jumps. 43.50 they get out. I want to see who fills me at 43.50. Okay, it's an aggressive market participant pushing 43.50 back into the HVN. I think he knew. I think he knew. Uh, I think he knew price would bid. I think he knew price would revert back to the distribution if he bid 43.25 aggressively. So he ate the whole order on the Q. I'm going to see what I chase here. The drawing up of tape and the aggressive response on buyers on the Q, not on the inside prints. The fact that we sat at 39.25. And they uptick again and fill me. We're watching it 5 times. Right? We come into the LVN. I wrote a very long time ago, this is exactly what that trade is. Yep. Right here. Don't position here for a short. I meant to breakout positioning again, right? Don't position here at the oh yeah. That's not a good example. And this is messed up. You don't want to position here, you want to position here or here. So that's poor, but who cares? That's what I did here. Notice that the value area is 39.50 and I bid 38.75. And they fill me. Oh shoot. That's an atrocious trade. We have to watch it anyways. I pulled the tape down. Let me see. It was kind of a fast loss too. Okay, 15, 38.50, upticking, nothing from inside print. Really lack of demand from buyers, and then they immediately move lower and they fill me on aggressive tape. They pull, so sellers run now, and I'm looking for a short at 38 even, which I don't get. I pull, because buyers step in, meaning we're probably going back to 39.50 and we're going to cross the LVN. Notice how the distribution is thickening out. So the only place to bid would be 38.50 or a tick above at 75. Now I'm chasing the return pullback at 39 even. $38.75, 39 even, 15, 14. They fill me. I have to watch it again because it was such a good trade. We're going to watch it 4 more times. 38.75. We come down. 23 is there. 11 trades. Buyer steps in on the inside print. We're moving up back to the return pullback now. Back to the HVN now. I pull one order and stack another. We're sitting there, which is bullish. We come in for a second and immediately rally to the upside. That's beautiful. So notice the absorption at 38.75. Then buyers step in on the inside print. We uptick once. We sit at 39 even. Right, it tells me price is holding. It looks like the queue's going to empty here. They fill me, and then they get absorbed again at 39 even. We're rewatching. Okay, I'm looking for the bid here. We're going back to look at context. $39, $38.50. We come down. Little upticking there. I'm chasing the absorption at 38.75 and 38.50. They fill me. We come back lower. First, a buyer steps in at 39 even, and somebody sells 11. Now, if sellers can hold 38.50, we're probably moving lower. But notice how the tape dries up and they can only throw 38.50 fours. That's good. And then price moves lower. I'm going to watch that again. And then I'm going to get back to the other trade. I pretty much agree with that trade, to be honest. Well, actually, where we came from, I disagree with it. Notice how we came off of 39.50 into the LVN, right? $15, $38.50, $10 again absorbed. Good bid at 39. Okay, then 22 is absorbed at 39. So buyers try to launch it and they can't get it. I would take the 2 tick loss here. Also, notice how 11 trades. It's too fast to see. 11 trades at 38.25. That's bad. and then sell pressure into 38. But then the tape dries up at 38.50. Buyers show up at 37.75 and 38 even. Price rallies in the opposite direction. This is kind of fast to watch, which is undesirable. But it's 8:42 a.m., right? So, you know, that's what I get. If it was 4 o'clock in the morning, it would be moving slower and it would be easier to read, most likely. So I have to pause it here to watch these things. We come off of 38, which is the thicker part of the distribution, cross the valley at 38.25 and 38.50, and we're watching 38.75 now. Okay, so this looks like a return pullback in play. Buyers are in control. There's 23 on the inside prints. Really not much in place of the Q to pay attention to. 11 trades. 14 trades. 21. 23. 17. 14. The Q empty is 39.50. Okay, now I'm looking at the spoofed Q at 39.50. Partially the inside prints. Notice how the Q completely empties. It probably jumps from here because the Q was spoofed. And it doesn't. That's interesting. We're going to go back. My my wrist and my shoulder are sore because of, I think it's a pinched nerve. I don't know if you can hear me throwing my arm around. I'm trying to crack the nerve in my shoulder. Or like let it breathe for a second, and it's not. It's not, period. 38.75. 39. We come down to 22. 'This is the loss. Okay, we rally off of this. Return pullback. Tape stops. We down tick 14 and 21. It hits 38.75. 11. Good to go. I'm thinking, all right, it's time to move, which it most likely is. 22. We come to the upside. 38.75. 21. I'm gonna have to pause this to see what's going on. Just on the inside prints and the bid ask, because the bid ask is important. Let's go backwards. When we get to 38.75, we'll watch it again. Okay. First of all, we see, I want to know if that jump lower was a move on low volume or if it was an actual seller. Notice that the Q at 38.50 was 50 on the ask and it was spoofed, right? So that was fake seller pressure. 38.50. Okay, we come down and then we uptick, and then 14 trades, 21 trades, I think. 21 was already there actually. 38.75. Buyers are actively pushing now. Then 21 trades and then one, and the sellers are absorbed at 38.75. We tried to hit lower. I said I wanted to see it. I don't really want to see it. I don't care. Well, yes, I do. That is the move from 38.75 down 2 ticks. Okay, so it looks like it was propped up by a buyer. I'm going to watch the inside prints. Yeah, it was propped up by a buyer at 38.50. Then 14 trades, 38.75. 21 trades. 39.50.61 is what I'm watching. The 11 absorbed at 39 even is very interesting. That's bullish, obviously. I chase it because I think it's going to rally here. This tape is too fast for me to read tomorrow. I'm going to get up earlier. 15, 14, 17. I'm just watching the Q flip. We come down. It trades off of 2. I don't remember if that was 23. It was 23. Trades off of 2. Price moves lower. Then 21 is absorbed by real strength from buyers. The algorithms probably immediately realize this. 39.25. There's 3 on the ask, so I think it's just going to blow up. But 39.50, I think the 59 on the Q is just going to pull immediately. So, did 3 trade there? No. So they just pulled, and then they pull again from 39, from 59 to 1, from 51 to 1, and then it restacks. Uh, Also, notice how the Q was spoofed. It was spoofed. It was supposed to be 59 and somebody hit it and it wasn't there. But typically when that happens, the market jumps. Here it stopped at 39.50, which is evidently bad. That tells me that we could be moving lower, and then sellers begin to launch an attack from 39.50. If it's led by active participants, then I have more faith in it. If not, it might just be the bid pulling the Q in order to see if they can get some liquidity going, or the ask pushing lower. It looks like the bid pulling the Q though. And then 11 trades, so they catch somebody. But my initial bias is off of that spoof. We should have moved higher and we didn't. We came to 39.50 as a floor, so it really depends on the bid ask now. Okay, so the tape dries up at 39.50 and 25 on the ask, but we're still sitting there. We see move down to 39. If we can hold 25, I want to see higher prices and move back down to 39. Just indicates that we're moving lower. There also needs to be a rotation, maybe 2 ticks up to 40 even, for me to get in. See how they're hitting 39 even again, even though there's no tape. And they're still holding 39.25 as a lower price. That's not good. So it would be a short, but I can only take return pullbacks. We see some uptaking here, and then buyer steps in right there at 39.75 bid. So I'm watching 39.50 now for an entry. 11's absorbed, and then we immediately move higher. I think sellers are giving way. I would chase it, but I simply can't trade it. I'm going to miss more fills because the market is faster today because I woke up too late. 26 and 15. Actually hilarious. That's really good to see from a buy perspective that 26 and 15 are thrown at 25 and even, and price doesn't move lower. And when it does, it moves lower a tick, and they don't continue the sell pressure. It's just 39.75. What that tells me is maybe it's somebody getting out at VPOC. They got in at 38 and they're getting out at the thicker part of the distribution, and they pushed price lower into what could have been my entry, and then value would adjust, and then value would adjust after that speculator got out. Price would move to 40.25, probably to VPOC. That's like just that hypothetical example is a scalp example of market reflexivity is what it's called. That the market, when you look at it, doesn't look at you. You actually participate in it and shape the price action. I'm gonna watch that again. Was that 13 there? First of all, 39.25. Yeah, we move up. Buyer shows up right there. Seller gets absorbed right there. Then 15 trades on the bid. They can't move it higher. We're back down to 39.75, 26. Sellers push it lower, 15 and 40, 25, right? Which is what made me think he got in at 38, and he exited for big size at 40 and 39.75, pushing price lower. The reason it makes me think it was a trader exiting his position is because it moved 2 ticks. It was a large order, 30, 41 in total. It moved it moved price immediately, and the pressure from sellers on the inside prints, it dries up at 39.50. It doesn't show up anymore. So that was basically a free trade for anybody looking for a fill at the value area based off of somebody at 40.25. And you'd only realize that, we're going to watch it again. You'd only realize that if you were watching tape over and over again. This is the initial trade I took. We're at 39.50 now. 8, 8, upticks, upticks. 14, 16, 11, 39.50, 39.25. That sell pressure looks fake. 22 at 39 and 13 at 39.25. 10, 39.75. 6, 11, 26. Down to 39.50. 11 trades, 39.75. 39.75. Okay, my brain's worn out. Okay, 10 pushes price higher. 11's absorbed. The ask moves higher, so the bid is pushing. No, I think. 7 trades on top of the 2. We're up to 40.25. Then 26 trades and 15 at the same time. Price moves down a tick, not one tick, a tick, off of the 26. And then there's no pressure there at the notch, the value area point, which is an alright place to trade. As I told you, the best bid was at 38s, 38.50s. Okay, now I think we're going to resort to standard market antics. I think we're going to move up from 30.75 up to 40.75, depending on the order flow. Boom! I want to see them pull, and then we're going to get off. Was that 11 there? On 39.75? Unless we're trying to flat. Okay, so it looks like the Q pulls. There's nobody there. We hold 40.25. They try to offer lower, doesn't happen. Okay, then we move lower. Immediate back ticking off of 39.75. The Q pulls now. There's a lack of pressure from buyers. They're just going to move it up on that. Goes from 23 to 13 on 40.50. Then a restack at 14, 16. Something pulls in the Q on the ask further back. Pressure now. 11. And then gone. And now we're at VPOC and 10, 11 trades at VPOC before price moving lower. Okay. Okay.